if you remember that they're changing my voice, and obviously I'm righteous. But you people listening to this and the rest of the world, you're not righteous. And terror and pit and snare await you, like it says in Isaiah. When we look at what Psalms is getting at, what Proverbs is getting at, and Proverbs is a very important book in the Bible, but it's a bit of a puzzle at times, at least. And what it's saying is that people are going to hell for what they've done. They pursued ill-gotten gain, and they're in the realm of the dead now, but their suffering will drastically increase. It's just like life, right? When people keep living an evil life, they're like going more and more into hell. When their flesh dies, they drastically go to hell. Time goes by differently, and they get marshaled more quickly into eternal punishment, into a state of suffering that no one wants to be in. Now, some of you might say, well, why is God that cruel? Well, let's look at this situation here. See, people never understand this. Every year, 9 million people starve to death and die of hunger-related issues. And there are other people who are suffering as well. And you have a decision in life. Either you'll do the right thing and separate yourself from the guilt, like it says in Revelation 18. It says, come out of her, come out of the spirit of Babylon, the principles of being complicit, because you're following the governing class, because you're cheating me out of my right to lead. Right? Whoever doesn't gather with me scatters. Whoever doesn't obey God through me scatters, right? Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I say? So you can't just gather the way you see fit and say, hey, we're gathering with you. And that's one of the main problems people have. A lot of people don't know what's going on here, but they do know that they're living and dying as cowards and as evil people who are merely clinging on to their group's conception of how things should be. You know, religions are like racial supremacist groupings. And then there are crypto Jews who sort of breed with the governing class of them. There's also English people who are very much involved. So the people doing this are white, Jewish, and LGBT. When it comes to white people, they're especially English and German. It's like with the Jews, right? The Ashkenazi Jews are German Jews. So why people are allowed to die and go to hell is because of their horrible decisions. Now let's look at this situation here, right? I just left California some months back, right? 5 months ago, whatever. And when I was there, I was in Morgan Hill by San Jose, which is one of the most populated cities in America. There's a bunch of people who get rejected, who feel like they're slighted by females, what have you. And I'm the only one who has a good reason to complain. They're all outside the divine order. If you act like a bitch, you should get treated like a bitch. And so they live and die like bitches. And that's fair. Because their forefathers chose to breed bitch. They chose to be a bitch. And when a bitch rejects them like a bitch does, they're all bitches together. Something to that effect. But when I was shunned, it's the righteous man being shunned. So that some dumb female could choose to be with some scoundrel, what have you. It happened when I was at boarding school in Southern California. It happened in Morgan Hill by San Jose. It happened at the clubs. It happened on the internet. What have you. It happened in the various places I went to. People looked at things like some kind of spoiled brat, some kind of worm, some kind of racial supremacist, some kind of false religion dog. And they shunned me. So when I come to, Southfield, Michigan by Detroit, right? Lots of black people here, but hey, they're no exception to the rule. There's a certain Armenian community, there's Arabs, there's Persians, there's Jews, right? It's like 12% Jewish. And when you hear the Jews or the Arabs, you're like, yeah, they're clannish. Armenians, you say, well, that sounds like a group of people that's clannish, and you're right. And then black people, they have their sort of social orders. All these groups don't mind so much, for the most part, if you settled for the females they don't want. But here's the problem. Central to the ending and how much people suffer is romantic injustice. It's also the main cause of rape. So people are being raped all over the place because women shun me, because they listen to these idiots who aren't men, who want to cheat me out of my right to lead, to play some stupid fraternity game. And they corrupted their religions. I mean, their religions were never real religions anyway. They're outside the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. They're just simply responding. I've been saying this for years. You can write it down. It should be written in stone. They're responding to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, and they're responding like cowards. And they're trying to save face and trying to impress each other and try to push racial supremacist lines. Think about it. They're trying to save face, trying to impress each other, trying to be greedy, trying to push a racial supremacist line. Is that holy? No, that's a disgrace. They should be very ashamed of themselves and their religions. There's no excuse for that, really. Their religions are mere human rules, customs, and traditions, mere lip service, while they embrace their greed and their ethnocentrism, their tribalism, their failure to be men. Everyone knows it. So why is everyone acting like a coward but me right now? Because of what I just explained. They don't really have systems that create people who are of worth. They're just simply trying to survive. Simply trying to survive. On a planet where human beings were supposed to evolve to be moral warriors, they are some kind of abominations that are simply trying to survive. Raising their daughters to sleep with some blood money dog, if they're attractive. If they're not attractive, they're trying to get people that they want to be seen as less to settle for. You have gays harassing people. You have people talking, to me, saying things like, I'm going to see how much I'm going to punish him. I want to hear this. Look, you're nobody compared to me. Are you that stupid? Do you know the difference between an ant and an elephant? You know the difference between a slug and the sun? How come you don't know you're just a bitch compared to me? How come you don't know that you're a powerless worm and I'm at God's right hand? I mean, these people are so stupid. They think that Shaggy Doo is more powerful than the Black Panther in the cartoons if these were real ideas. They don't understand characteristics. They're some kind of a fucking stupid bitch. They're like a ditzy little slut. Except for sometimes they're a guy. It is fucking pathetic. So yes, your offspring have no hope. Who would have thought? Because you're some type of bitches. No sense. No heart. No insight. No wisdom. Folly is an unruly woman and folly's in the heart of a child. So you're being sealed in hell like the bitches you are. And when you die, you go to hell. When you pray, my goodness, look, don't pray to God, don't pray to Jesus. You people worship the devil. Your prayers are not going to help you. Faith does not save you unless it's true faith, which comes with being in the divine order. Otherwise, it's just some kind of delusion. Some kind of sissy's delusion. Is pathetic. Look at your religious gatherings. Are they not just corporate gatherings? With a bunch of clowns? A bunch of punks? Are you going to pretend that you don't know that? You know why I don't think people should shoot them up? Because that's too good for them. That's too easy. Let them play themselves out like bitches and disgrace themselves before God. Then get marshaled to hell like the dogs they are. Why bother to shoot them? It's pretty straightforward. So as you people keep acting like bitches and keep shunning me, I'm going to increase your eternal punishment because I'm in charge. There's a bunch of gays and Jews and white supremacists. Like, okay, stop. I don't want them to say that. Like some kind of a bitch. I'm in charge and your spirits are whimpering like bitches. You can tell by your tactics, your ways, your paths that your spirits are fucking pathetic. You are a fucking disgrace. I should say you're a disgrace to your families, but your families are permanently and irreversibly disgraced. Why would you even think about reproducing? Are you that fucking stupid?